Most people, they think of success like a movie montage. What do they show? They show Rocky taking a fight. They show Rocky running in the snow. They show him in the shed lifting some fucking rocks and like bench pressing sheep over his fucking head and all kinds of crazy shit. And went out and beat the shit out of fucking Drago. But it's not reality. But that's how people look at success. They look at it like you do a few things. I fucking ate right for 3 days. Why am I not a fucking fitness model? I did my tasks that I needed to do. I sent 5 emails. Why am I not running a $10 million company? Because they don't understand what mastering the monotonous means. It means doing the shit that most people are too fucking undisciplined to do day in and day out to the best of your ability. You have to literally visualize the connection between what you're doing on a day-by-day basis, aka the monotonous, with what you're wanting.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome. We are here live. I got a guest in the back studio. Shout out to Samuel tuning in. I got a whole new studio set up. This is lit. I'm loving it, man. This is episode, what we at, 16 now? This is getting crazy. We at episode 16. Let me put you guys up front so I can see the good, beautiful people. Hope everybody's doing well. I know you're just tuning in. And today's going to be a really, really good one. In fact, today is what I like to call jam-packed. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Let me get some thumbs up, some things going on in the back in the chat. We got it streaming live on Facebook. We got it streaming live on YouTube. In fact, I'm about to go crazy right quick. I'm about to go live on Instagram just cause. You know what I mean? Also, shout out to my guy Andrew, man. He showing everybody what it takes. This video he did. Just watching, you know, Compin Atlanta. We have, like I said, this is episode 16. I hope this is episode 16. I'm out here tripping. But we have videos like this. And what do we do on Compin Atlanta? It's very simple, very easy. What we do is we comp deals, right? We comp deals, we underwrite deals, we talk about deals. And why do we do those things? Well, it's simple, it's easy. It's because it's necessary. The market that we're in currently, if you don't know what you're doing, you will be lost. You'll be more than lost. You'll be pissed off because you'll be busy trying to do deals, trying to make things happen, and not have an understanding of where you should be, what you should be doing, and how you should be doing it. So again, thank you all for coming. I mean, I appreciate you guys showing the love. I do this out of the goodness and kindness of my heart. I do this because I have had mentors, coaches, teachers in my life that went above and beyond, and they continue to go above and beyond. It's more than just the money. That's exactly what we're doing. So shout out to all my fam. I mean, I got sub 2, AstroFlip. I got people that just hit me up randomly, like, yo, I saw you on the video and I wanted to hit you up, and I got the time. Because I remember one time I said to myself, as soon as I knew enough information to be dangerous, I was going to make sure I gave back. I wasn't going to wait till I was worth $45 million, right? I was going to give back to the community who I know would be looking for someone like myself, because I was in that same position. And I too was trying to get to the next level. So again, thank you all for joining, seeing all the love on Facebook, all the love on Instagram. Shout out to all you guys. I'm just doing this live. We're about to, if you want to see what we're looking at, we're going to be on YouTube. You guys can tune in, go to the YouTube channel, but we just comping, talking real estate. Anybody who wants to join, hit me up. I'll get you on here and we're going to talk deals. So if you guys saw that intro was really deep, really good. More importantly, because it talked about something important that most people, when you're doing business, just don't comprehend. In fact, I saw some new friends that I met put a video out about morning routines and what your schedule should be like. And I want you guys to know you first and foremost have to do what works for you. Everybody's not the same. Okay. So some people need to be able to, like, woo-saw and all that other extra stuff that I do in the morning to make sure that they can be high octane throughout the entire day. Some people don't need that. Some people wake up, get a cup of coffee, get straight to work, right? You got to find what works best for you. And I want to make sure that I'm clear on that, because a lot of times people think, oh, I got to do this way. I got to do it this way because this is what they said works. Find out what works for you first and foremost. Now, if you don't know what works for you, try everything, right? One of my good friends, Pace Morby, says, throw spaghetti against the wall, see what sticks. Grant Cardone talks about the same things. Don't wait to plan. Just throw out the idea and then figure it out along the way. So for sure, that's what you guys got to do. And importantly, one of those steps is learning how to do the mundane task over and over again. That's how you achieve success. That's how you achieve greatness. Okay. One of the reasons why we do Compin Atlanta is because comping, in my honest opinion, is one of the first steps, pillars. You know what I mean? It's level one. If you don't know how to comp, I can tell you right now, your business is going to suffer, especially in this market. What's going on? Especially in this market, right? You have to know how to comp, because if you don't know how to comp in this market, you've already lost. You've already, like, whatever deal you thought you was working on is a dead deal. I'm telling you right now, because in this market, we have deals that are literally changing. The ARVs, the comps is changing 24 hours. I was talking to my team today in Franklin. He's an amazing individual. He's on my team. He works as my disposition manager. He's a kick-ass individual, and legit, he's going to take over Atlanta, I promise you. But one of the things that he was bringing up today, he was like, yo, take a look at this market. I forgot the name of the market. Franklin, if you're watching, type in the name of the market that we was just talking about. Literally last year, they had 100 and something deals on market. Okay? Today, they have 100 plus deals on market. Now, let me make sure I'm clear on that. So last year, this time, they had 100 and something deals. This year, right now, they have over 200 and something deals. Typically, that's not how it works in real estate. You're supposed to be selling out the stuff that you have. So our market is getting tapped. We see it happening nationwide, and it's happening at a large rate. And, hint, hint, clue, clue, it's not just United States that's being affected by a lot of different factors that took place. Places like China, places like Europe are also being affected in different ways. Real estate is no exception to that, and they're getting tapped. So why am I telling you guys all this? Why is this important? It's important because you have to understand and learn the basics. All right, my guy Mike on Instagram said, again, if you're on Instagram, you want to be able to see what we're going to show, definitely come over to YouTube. But he said it's the hedge funds. Now, that's partly true. The hedge funds have some fault in this, but everything that was been going on, remember, guys, the hedge funds really came into the game later on. The hedge funds wasn't really buying from the offset when things were going crazy. They did come in, but because the hedge funds are big time, when they came in, they come in big and they made a bunch of noise, right? It was like, boom, we're buying everything. And this was the first time in a very long time in a lot of markets that hedge funds were buying directly from wholesalers, where before they would not do business with wholesalers. They didn't deem wholesalers credible. I don't know why. That was stupid, and it wasted a lot of money. And they realized their error and decided to start buying directly from wholesalers. So again, it's not just the hedge funds. There's a lot of other factors that are in place. So think about it like this. It's as if you had one thing that can cause a problem, and you can blame that one thing. But now what's happening is there's like 5 other things on top of this one thing that's making this as bad as it is. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean we need to just give up? Do we need to just leave town? Do we need to just, hey, it's time to do something else? Absolutely not. This right now, this market is when we take over. There's 2 main things that needs to happen. The first thing is we cannot panic. Once you start to panic, you make it worse. It prolongs it. If you look at history, you'll see that we've always had recessions. Always. It's just part of human nature simply because we're humans. We're going to repeat the same things. Just like you see the same type of things in fashion repeats itself over a couple of years. Music repeats itself over a couple of years. It's no difference because we're humans, and the way we evolve kind of depicts like what's going to happen. So there's actually some really good sources you can find on YouTube that will start talking to you and teaching you like, hey, look, this has been happening from before. Go take a look. You can see the patterns. If you trade, if you're doing any trading online, you can see. If you trade on stock market, you can see like, hey, everything is patterns. We've seen this before. Okay, so that's why we do Compin, guys and girls. You got to learn the basics, and you got to stick to understanding. We just have to continue doing these things day in, day out, because not only do you get better at it, you become an expert, right? This is saying, practice makes perfect, and that's absolutely false. Practice does not make perfect. What practice actually does, it allows you to be able to be so good that it's actually harder for you to make a mistake. You innately know how to do it, right? I'll give you an easy example, and we're going to get right into it. I want to bring Samuel up here. An easy example is this. How many people here know how to write their own name? Raise your hand if you know how to write your name. Let's just keep it, okay? Let's keep it simple. If you know how to write your name, raise your hand. Let me see it in the chat. If you don't know how to write your name, we're going to do another Zoom after this to kind of help you guys out. But if you know how to write your name, how hard would it be for you to get a piece of paper for you to write your name wrong? Can you easily do that? Or do you have to like focus on like, okay, what am I going to do? Do I need to, let me take the M out of my name, Mike, and I'll just be Ike Puma 300, right? You have to make that decision. That's exactly how you want to be in this real estate space. You want to be so good at talking to sellers, comping deals, underwriting deals. You want to be so good that you have to try your best to make a mistake. That's what practice is about. That's why it should be happening. So we're going to jump into it. I want to bring my guy Samuel on. Samuel, I see you back here rocking with us. Do you have the ability to show your screen? I mean, I like your logo. I'm a big fan of wolves myself and dogs. But the people want to see your face, man. So if you can, definitely let us know. If not, I totally understand you're here. I want to rock with you. Want to make it happen, man. What's going on, my guy? I don't know why Facebook be disrespecting y'all. Don't want y'all to put your name in there, but glad you rocking with us. Like Andrew is saying it, man. Wholesales need to come correct with the numbers. This is it. If you come correct with the numbers, you will make buku of the dollars. I promise you. It's definitely something that's going to happen in your life. And I don't mean in the future. I mean like right now. All right. So let's bring up Samuel. Samuel, my guy, can you hear me? I see you said your camera's broken. Don't worry about it, bro. We're going to rock out.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, man. Fantastic, man. How are you?
Good.
Glad you are here, my guy. Let's talk a little bit, man. Tell the people about you, where you're at, what you're doing.
So I saw Eddy on Pace's video, and I was like, wow, this guy seems awesome. Pace says you run Atlanta. I said something can't hurt reaching out to him. And I said I could use your help, and he instantly brought me onto this call. And just tell you a little bit about myself. I've been wholesaling since I was about 17. I did a few deals, and I'm still doing deals. Like built up cash, put all the cash in a risky business adventure. Pretty much lost it all. But right now I'm back to square one. Like I've already built up back to where I was, and I want to start acquiring properties of my own, and I want to start doing it like crazy.
Nice, love it, man. I definitely appreciate you, reaching out. Yeah, so sorry if you're on IG, you won't be able to hear. I don't have my technical skills up like that yet, where I can allow people to hear from IG. I will work on that, but it is streaming live on YouTube, so you can jump in on YouTube, be able to hear.
Yeah, I'll post the link in there.
Yeah, please post the link, or you can join on Facebook. All right, so for sure, man. Thank you. I definitely like the fact that you reach out. It's one of those scenarios where it's what we're supposed to be doing, right? There's this thought process that I don't know where it came from or how it happened, but it's real. Where you have individuals that are like hoarding information, they don't want to share, and they feel that, well, if I share this opportunity with you or this thought process or understanding, then that means it's less for me.
Yeah, it's a scarcity mindset.
It's a scarcity mindset. I'll tell you right now, I think that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. And I normally don't deal with anybody like that. So if you see me, see any individuals that I'm around, we're all go-givers. In fact, I don't have that book here. It's upstairs in my office. Go-Giver.
Yeah, I just read that book.
Listen, top 10 books for sure. And you don't even have to, get the other versions of it. You can actually just use, let me go to Amazon to show you the different ones. You can just get the regular one. It's the red and white cover one. Is this one right here? So I'm gonna share my screen real quick. It is like legit, probably one of my favorite books ever. It's read in a storyline. I got a chance to be able to connect with them through the amazing substitute community. It is.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. So you can get it on Audible, which I would recommend. It's really good. But let me tell you guys something. This book is so dope. I actually read this book on Audible, and I have the actual physical copy. Now, these are also good, but I'm telling you, you just start with this one, you'll be good to go. You'll be good to go. So that's what we're about, right? That's what I roll with. That's what my community is about. And essentially, Pace is also, obviously, you guys know this. If you know Pace more, but if you don't, I'm not quite sure where you've been or what you've been up to, because the guy is everywhere. But that's why I got connected with him. I got connected with Jamil. I'm also an MircoFlipping student. That's my guy as well. He's someone that I truly look up to. Like, these guys are real go-givers, right? I started with Brent Daniels. Again, another go-giver, right? So the point I'm trying to say is, I'm glad you reached out, because that's what we're about. And more importantly, I got a big goal, right? And I haven't talked about it a lot at all, actually. And I'm getting ready to, because we're ready. We're getting ready to move. We're getting ready to shift. And if you can ask anybody, I typically will tell people, like, look, I'm looking to build relationships. So Samuel, I definitely want to help you, because I want to help you, period. Now, is there other benefits to me wanting to help you as an extra? Of course there is. And my benefit is, I'm hoping that I can build a good enough relationship with you by helping you be able to take care of yourself and your family, by bringing opportunities and money to you, by teaching you in whatever aspect that you may need when it comes to real estate or anything else that I might be deemed an expert on, so that in 5 years from now or whatever, I can call you and say, Sam, well, listen, we're about to do a deal. It's going to probably cost us each $1 million a piece. I got a couple of other people here, and we're getting ready to join in. I want to hit you up, and I want you to be able to cut me off. I want you to be like, Eddy, what are you doing? Like, why would you call me? Just call my assistant. My assistant knows if it's you, that the deal is going to be a good deal, they'll send the money over. Like, don't call me for stuff like that. Like, just have your assistant call my assistant, and the money will be there, right? In fact, if you're gonna call me, bro, like, tell me when we're gonna go play golf, when we're gonna shoot some hoops. Like, call me for stuff like that, right? I want you to legit be upset because I called you about making money with me, and you're like, bro, it's automatic. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for relationships like that. And I've been able to build that, right? I have one of my good friends, Heather, that's on here. Like, she's an amazing human being. Her and her whole family. That's the goals that I have set aside for these groups of individuals. Now, I deal with a lot of people. I talk to a lot of people. But the truth of the matter is, in order for me to accomplish what I'm looking for, I do not need everybody. And that's okay. Right? Jay-Z said it's enough of us. The circle might be small, but there's definitely enough of us to be able to make the impact that we're trying to make. So I'm saying this here live and right now. I did put a post out. I'm going to say it live on here. In the next 45 days, I'm going to grab 100 people, and we're going to go walk multifamilies in Atlanta, and we're going to go purchase one, straight up. And everybody who is there who wants to be able to participate and put money in, they can, and you will be a partner with me on this deal. And I'm doing that by building this relationship, building this community, so we all can be able to start making money now. Now, that's on top of us doing creative deals. That's on top of us doing single families and building passive cash flow. And why do I want to do it? Because why not? Right? Like why wouldn't I do it? And so that's exactly why, you know what I mean? Sam, you hit me up and you was like, yo, you know, like, what I got to do? I'm like, dude, you want to get on live with me? Let's talk. So, Samuel, your story is really good because you actually represent a lot of people that's out here, right? You have some cash flow, got some money coming through, and you're like, look, man, I want to be able to build something. I want a portfolio. I want to be able to like work some things out.
Yeah.
Right. I got Mike over here saying, look, I'm close to getting my very first creative deal. Like, everybody wants to get to that point, and I know what that feels like. Like, the property I'm talking to you right now is a house that I purchased creatively. All right. And this is where my family lives. So I know it's possible because I went through it, and I legit was at the bank going to get loans, or I was looking for loans. I remember like it was yesterday. I had a folder under my arm, like, all right, let's do it. I just left Wells Fargo. And I get a text from Pace that says, I just bought 4 properties, no money down. And wow. I was like, I wasted a whole Friday going from bank to bank. And my guy just texted me like, yo, I just brought 4 of these bad boys. So not only do I know it's possible, I actually lived it. And so when I hear Mike say like, look, I want to get something. I want to get my first one, or I want to get something for my family. I can relate with that, right? And that's why I was like, listen, man, let's get on and let's work out a game plan of what you're trying to accomplish so we can get you started. All right? Because that
sounds awesome.
Like this person just said here, again, I apologize, Facebook user, limiting belief that you need a bank, right? You don't need a bank. We just need each other. We need relationships to be able to help us either get deals done or to be able to give us the knowledge so we can go get deals done together. So, Sam, without getting too much into your business and everything like that, you can give like a round ballpark amount of dollars that you can be able to like invest. How much is that?
How much I'm doing per month, or how much to put into acquiring?
To put into acquiring, let's start there.
10K.
10K. All right. So this is a great first step, right? So the first step needs to be, what exactly are we going to be doing, right? Are you looking to acquire a rental unit, or are you looking to put your money into, let's say, like a fix and flip or something like that, and then double your money back out? You have
either
to
a long-term or a short-term rental.
Right. Okay. So you want a long-term, so you're basically on the rental side for sure.
Yeah.
And you
I want to be doing flips too, but I foresee that later, and I'd want to be partnering on the first few to get some experience.
Perfect. I love everything you said. Latanya, I saw your message. definitely reach out to me. Let's do it together. You know what I mean? Like, there's absolutely no reason why we shouldn't be doing that together. So here's what I love the fact that you have that down packed, because a lot of times people in real estate will say, look, you know what? I want to start in real estate. What do you want to do? I want to do Airbnb, and I want to do long-term buy and holds, but I also want to do fix and flips, and I want to do storage units, and I want, like, one of my mentors says real estate investing is a lifelong pursuit.
Yeah.
So you figured out, okay, I want to be able to do rentals right now. Perfect. Now, how much do you want to be able to make from your rentals?
In total or per door?
Just one door. Because right now we just focus on one. Because I can't make you believe that you can get 25 if I can't make you believe you can get one. Because the 25 that we go get, if that's your number, the 25 we go get, all you did is repeat what you did for the one. Right? You with me?
Yeah.
So let's start there. How much money would you want to be, like, able to make on
3,000.
3,000? So from one door you want to make 3,000.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So immediately we know we're not talking regular rental.
You're talking
right?
short term.
We're talking short term. Unless you were trying to say 3,000. Was that gross or net?
Profit.
Profit. Okay. So yeah. So you're leaning more towards short term. Okay. So now what I would first say is, where can you go? Where can you go that's going to allow you to be able to have that amount with no problem?
Right now I'm working in Port St. Lucie and Stuart, Florida.
Okay, Point St. Lucie and Stuart, perfect. And now, have you done your research in figuring out why you wanted those markets?
Yeah. So I was doing West Palm, and those two are right above it, north of it. And my
Okay.
uncle Perry also does invest in there. And he says, stay out of West Palm for now, get some experience in Port St. Lucie and Stuart, and then go back down there.
Okay, perfect. I love it. Here's another thing, right? So for those of you who might be trying to accomplish the same thing, maybe in a different market or in your market, one of the things you got to make sure that you do is pick one area, pick one market, right? You want to pick one area, one market. A really good friend of mine who actually used to be he's the creator and used to be the owner of Wholesaling Inc., Tom Kroll. He said that he made himself a millionaire by marketing in one market, which you actually said that market, Point St. Lucie. So you can do it. You don't have to virtually wholesale nationwide in order to accomplish your goals. Now, because you're picking particular markets, which is great, you also need to make sure that you do a really good job figuring out not just the laws that are there for Airbnb today, but also what's coming down the pipeline.
Okay. I also want each property to be able to, if not just solely depend on Airbnb.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll definitely get to that. So the reason why I say that is because, could you imagine if I help you get a creative deal on a property, 30-year, everything's beautiful, 10-year balloon maybe, and Airbnb decides to change their laws in 6 months in that area, and you're blindsided by that, right? So again, first step one, decide which market you want to be in or need to be in to hit your goal, right? And the second thing you want to do at that point is do extensive research to make sure that you are solid in that area. All right. So this is for short term. So now that you're going to do that, if you haven't already, or it sounds like you have a little bit, but I want you to double check those. All right.
Okay.
Now the next thing that you're going to do is figure out, okay, I know where I'm going is solid. I double check that where. Now I need to figure out, can I actually make the money that I want to make from one property? So have you used AirDNA?
Yeah.
Or there's another one, what is it? Rabu? Let me see. Let me double check. So there's AirDNA, and then there's Data.Rabo. I'm gonna put it in the chat for everybody to be able to get it. Those are probably the best two that I know that makes the most sense.
Yeah, I use AirDNA.
All right, so perfect. All right, so you use AirDNA, and here's the other one right here, Data.Rabo. I don't get nothing from it, guys. So you can just go to it and use it. This will be able to give you access to typically the same data as AirDNA. Hold on. So typically it will give you the same data as AirDNA, but sometimes it has a little bit more extra, right? So extra is good. So you want to do Data.Rabo or AirDNA.com, and that will be able to help you figure out, can I actually make the money that I think I want to make? And how do I figure that out? Is by seeing what are other people making. But you have to make sure you're finding what other people are making and do two things when it comes to this. And what I'll do probably is I'll get one of my friends to come on here, and we'll do a whole thing on Airbnb. We had an episode before with two of our guys. I'm gonna get another individual. His name is Earl. He's a very good friend of mine, and he's here in Atlanta. So he'll be able to really give you guys a basis on it. So regardless if you're in Florida or Nevada or wherever, you can be able to do the same thing. So
awesome.
You want to be able to look at the data and see. So actually, let's do that. Let's go through it. So you said you used Airbnb, right?
Yeah, I mainly use AirDNA.
I said Airbnb, airdna.com. Now, do you have an account with them already or no?
No. It's .co.
Oh. All right. Do you have a address or anything like that I can use?
You should be able to just type in Port St. Lucie.
How do you spell Port St. Lucie? Port St.
There you go.
Lucie. All right, you guys. So for my people that are following on Instagram, you can't really see this. So unfortunately, it doesn't really make sense unless you just really enjoy seeing my face, which trust me, I get it. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna go ahead and jump off of here. If you want to come on board, come join us on YouTube or Facebook Live. Stay charged up. All right, so let's finish doing this. So I should be able to just exit out of here. All right.
Just press skip to one on the bottom left of that.
You said skip.
Of the box.
There you go. All right, so now you said you wanted 3,800. Is that what you said?
3,000.
3,000. Okay. So it looks like the average right now is about 2,300.
Okay.
Which makes sense, right? You have to look at Airbnb or any of these short-term type of rentals. They're always going to be based off of the area, the market, and where we are, right? So we're getting more towards cold season. And even though Florida is a great place to go to get away from the cold, most people aren't willing to just get out their house during the cold to go somewhere warm, right?
Yeah.
They'd rather just kind of just stick it out. So you are going to have a little dip in there, which is perfectly fine. But also, you have 63% that's doing it for Airbnb, which is great numbers. And just also other avenues you can look at too, right? So you can also look at what I like to do is if you had an actual address of a property, what I would do is I would take that property and I would look it up on Google Maps.
Yeah, I'll pull it up right now. I'll grab you one.
All right, perfect. Yeah, give me one. And I'm going to show you guys what I do with Google Maps. Now, this is how I actually comp my deals, whether it's a single family, short-term rental that I'm trying to do, or a multifamily deal. I do the same thing. What I'm going to show you guys is how to be able to look at the area, right? Now, I know today's show, we were going to talk about micro-flipping, Gator lending, and multifamily. I promise you we'll get into those things as well. And it's going to actually come up because one of the avenues you'll see, micro-flipping is actually going to be really good for if you want to do short-term rental and vice versa. So that's going to be dope. And also Gator lending also comes into play.
I put in the chat.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So let me go into what is micro flipping. So micro flipping, a lot of you probably have heard, is essentially what people in the marketplace used to call daisy chaining. And daisy chain is, there's absolutely nothing wrong with daisy chain. What's wrong is if people don't be upfront with what they're doing and how they're doing it, right? So if you're micro flipping, essentially what I'm doing is you're doing a bunch of transactions. So I may be doing 4 or 5 transactions, and all I'm doing is making a connection piece. So I'm not really doing much work, right? I may know a person who have a property. I know a buyer who's looking for a property, and I know a wholesaler who is trying to sell this deal from another person. I insert myself in the deal through the permission of working with the wholesaler, take that deal and connect them with the right person who's looking to buy it. Wholesaler still makes the money that they want to make, and I just get a smaller percentage for doing my little part. Now, my little part was a big deal, but it was a little part in still because of how important that that connection happened. So it's called micro flipping. The name of the game with micro flipping, though, believe it or not, is not to be trying to make 10, 20,000 off of every deal. It's micro flipping. It's being able to make small amounts of money from multiple deals. The benefit is you don't have to pay any money for marketing or any of those things, right? It's like you're like the wholesale whisperer, right? Like you operate on the in between the lines, and you are vital because you make things happen. Andrew got it down pat. Keep it in 100. Don't conceal your intentions. Share them openly. Do good business. Relationships is everything. Absolutely. Especially if you can do microflip. Now, why is that important for what Andrew is going through? Well, if Andrew is on this podcast, this show that we're doing, and other people are going to see it, they can be able to say, well, listen, I know he's looking for a possibility to do Airbnb in Point St. Lucie. I can go get a deal from someone who I know has a deal and bring it to Samuel as a possible deal that would make sense for him. And therefore, now you have micro flipping transaction take place. Does that make sense? So what I want to do is at the end of the show, I want you, Samuel, to be able to give some sort of contact information, whether it's a phone number, email, whatever, DM, IG, so that people can reach out to you and send you possible deals that's going to work best for you.
100%.
All right. So let's go into it. So here's what I do. First thing I do is I come in and I love Google Maps. I like to take a look at the property. So here's the property right here. I look at the property. I always look to see the date. So this is 2015. So maybe some things changed on here. I'm assuming they did. But I also type a look around at the neighborhood, which is extremely important because you want to see what's the neighborhood look like, what's across the street, what's down the street, right? This looks like a pretty dope area, right? Looks nice, nothing too crazy, or at least from these pictures. All right, cool. So that's the first thing I do. Now I like to go into this map right here. See if I can make it bigger. Let's go out. Here it is. So I like to come here in this side of the map, and I like to zoom out a little bit. So first I take a look and see what's in the neighborhood. This is what I'm doing here. I'm looking to see what's in the neighborhood. So I see, what am I looking for in particular? I'm looking for supermarkets. I'm looking for, is there any entertainment stuff around here? Like, for example, if this is the property you're looking for, and over here I see this like some sort of like big park where they do concerts and stuff like that. I like that, right? Because people are more than likely to want to rent something over here that's close to where they're trying to go have fun at, right? So I'm looking for that. Is it far from food? Is it far from like restaurants? I'll zoom out to see what else I can find. Like, is there any hospitals nearby? All right, I see a nursing home. Sam Club's here. Let me see what else. All right, let's see. See a bunch of stuff over here. All right, so let's go down here, see if there's anything. And you can zoom, you can totally zoom in, zoom out to kind of get a little bit more as far as like what's in the area. So shooting club over here. Now again, why is this important? Well, let's say I'm doing Airbnb and it's a slow month.
Okay.
What do? Do I say, okay, well, let me turn it into a rental? I always use a long-term rental as a last resort.
Gotcha.
Because it's going to be hard to get out that contract, right? So it's the last resort. Now, what I would do is I would look to see if there's a hospital nearby. Well, I can go to Furnish Finder and be able to maybe rent it out to nurses. If it's near an airport, I can probably rent it out as a crash pad for pilots. So you see, you want to be able to, I want you to be able to look at it like this. Like Airbnb is a model. It doesn't necessarily just have to be tourists from out of town. It can be anything that fits that model. If you wanted to, you can see if there's any insurance companies in the area. Exactly, corporate rental. You can see if there's any insurance companies in the area and see if they're interested. They may have a person who just had a fire in their home, and while the insurance company is fixing up the home, they need somewhere to live. Insurance company will pay for that for 3 months, 6 months. You can do corporate rentals. If there was like, big corporations nearby here or whatever, I would be reaching out. And every one of these places that I just mentioned to you, they all have a department that takes care of things like that.
Okay.
Right? So that's really, really good for you to be able to utilize that information because like, okay, well, what if this month is a slow month or damn, I thought Airbnb was going to be killing and it's not right now. Then you can lean on something that's a little bit more guaranteed. For example, when we had, that thing that the world was suffering from at the same time, right? That global catastrophe.
Yeah.
Travel was banned, right?
Yeah.
But nurses traveled the most in that time zone, in that time. And they were getting paid buku dollars to be able to travel. So now listen, if you're a nurse and you're traveling and not everybody wants to be around people around this time, how awesome would it be to be able to rent a house to yourself for 6 months?
Yeah.
So you see what I'm saying? So there's always a need for what you're trying to do, Samuel. I just want you to be able to look at like outside of the box to be able to see, okay, how else can I make money? In this market, especially, this is for everybody. Never rely on one way to make money. And it just being a rental should be your last resort. If I'm looking at a property, I look at least 3 ways I can make money from this property. Or 2 other ways, since my last one's always going to be a regular rental. All right. So now that we know what this area can do, we done took a look at the area. We use our Google Maps. We zoomed out. Obviously, Sammy, you're going to do some more research, but are you still confident about this area to be able to do short term?
Yeah, I think it would work.
Okay, perfect. Love it. So now it's about moving forward. Okay. And now we're going to talk about Gator lending. So $10,000 is a good amount of money to be able to get into a property. But let's go to Airbnb. Here's another thing that you guys may want to do. So if we go to Airbnb and let's type in Port, there you go. Port St. Lucie, Florida. Let's just type in a random, actually, let's just search. Okay, so here's Point St. Lucie, Florida. What am I doing here? I'm looking to see, one, how much money is being made, and two, what do the properties look like? Why is that important information? Well, if I want to get close to $84, $89 a month, I have to compete with this.
Yeah.
Right? Airbnb is too big of a brand now for you to be like, oh, I can come in and just put some chairs that I got from Walmart. You know, you remember those the white plastic ones where if you sat too fast, they just fold up on you. Like you can't throw that in there no more. People now have standards. This is something we've been used to for so long that people now are like picky. I'm gonna pick and choose what I like the most, or which one of these I like the most. And they're gonna do it by the pictures. So they're gonna look what's clean. Is it a whole house versus a condo? It says it's a private room. It says it's a guest suite. Okay, this was a home here, got a whole pool with a cover. This was a pool, but it didn't have no cover. Right? And the pool with the cover charged more. Okay, I like that. So you can kind of start to get a gist. Like, look, this one here, and I'm not trying to judge a book by its cover. We're just looking at one picture here. But this one here is a private room, first and foremost. And look at these couches. Nothing about these couches looks sexy. Right? Yeah. Not a dang thing about these couches looks like there's nothing that's telling me where I am right now in my home that I'm like, man, yeah, you know what? This would be a great trip. Let's go out and then sit our butts on these chairs. But it also makes sense, right? They're only charging $73. You see, it used to be $91.
Yeah.
All right. So here's a 42, but it's a room. So we've seen a lot of rooms. We've seen a lot of apartments. This is a super host. Got a nice little cottage. That's cool. But even they took a price cut. So again, what does this tell us so far? We kind of get a good sense of how much we should be spending on, or what the look should be like for our Airbnb, right? This one right here is a house. Let's take a look at it. Go a little bit deeper. And these are all the research and stuff like that you want to do, right? So, all right, this looks cool. Looks nice. See the furniture. The house itself doesn't have to match. I'm not saying, all right, let's go out and find a house just like this. Yeah. Right? But the inside, because think about it. If I'm coming to your Airbnb, how much time am I going to spend looking at the outside of the house?
Barely any time at all.
Yeah, not a time at all. The time to find it, to walk in, and to walk out of it. That's it. So inside the house is what matters, right? You see a nice rug. You know, this looks nice. The property looks nice itself. Has a nice backyard. I can just see us hanging out here, you know, drinking, cat night, whatever you want to do, right? Looks decent. So now we have to start getting into our bag a little bit, right? So Samuel, do you think if we found a house that we would be able to spend $10K to furnish it like this? Or would we need more?
We need more, probably.
We need more. And this is important because in our underwriting, I get people that send me deals and be like, oh, this would be a great short-term rental. And they fail to realize how much money it takes to furnish something like this. And therefore, the deal is not a deal no more because you didn't put all the numbers, which is part of Compin, right? You guys have to be able to learn on this. So, Andrew, my guy Andrew, says here, I'm a Gator here. Andrew, I wish you could come on here, man. That'd be dope. I'll see. We can have another conversation. If you can jump on, let me know. I'll drop you the link. But I know Andrew's on here. Heather is on here, right? These are individuals that I know that Gator lend. And how do I know that, Samuel? Because I'm also a Gator lender. And I talk to these individuals and this is what they do, right? Now, why am I telling you anything about Gator lending? Because I would not tell you like, hey, you know what you should do is you should probably just go out and get a loan from a bank because that interest rate is going to be silly.
Yeah.
Right. But what I would tell you to do is why don't you partner with someone that can come in with the capital and maybe some other resources. So now you bring your 10K, they bring in maybe 10K, 15K. And for that, you give them whatever you guys agree upon. per month to pay that, interest and then be able to pay them back. Right now, most people might be saying, oh yeah, but then I'm not making as much money as I would be able to make if I was just by myself. You're 1,000% correct. But you also ain't gonna make no money if you ain't got no money to put into the property, right? So the question isn't about not making enough money. The question is, what do I need to do to get in this deal today? Because if you get into this deal today, then it may take you 6-7 months to be able to pay them back their 10,000 or 15,000, and now all the money goes to you, and you now have the deal for as long as you want to have it, right? So that's where Gator lending would come in place right here. I would definitely look out to get somebody to Gator lend with to be able to help with the furnishing side of this. What you gonna say?
So if I wanted to, excuse me.
Okay, Andrew.
I did one with the 10K, but I want to keep doing it every month, and I want to do 3 more, except 0 out of pocket, because so I can do more frequently. Mm-hmm. Would it be the same premise? Just partner for people for the whole entry fee instead of going in.
Same thing, man. Look? I was on the phone today. Earlier today, I was talking to a gentleman. Let's see if I can get his name. I was talking to him just earlier today about doing that same thing. He said, here he is. Nope, that's not him. Okay, so he reached out to me and was like, look, I really want to be able to get started in real estate. I got some money. I'm looking to be able to take money, equity out of my home, and I want to do some fix and flips, right? So we started, and he said, I want to do fix and flips and short-term rental. He said, here, oh, perfect. And Andrew just put his information out here. So you guys can reach out to Andrew, be able to help out. All right.
Got it.
He said, look, I'm looking for, I want to be able to get into something. So we keep talking. I'm like, do you even like real estate? You know that thing, like, bro, do you even live? I was like, do you even like it? Do you really want to do fix and flips? Right? Do you really want to do short-term rentals, or do you really just want your money to make money for you?
Yeah.
Because if that's what you want, and the misconception is, well, that means I have to now become a fix and flipper. No, you don't. You don't have to be any of those things. What you should be doing is making your money work for you. The same way people take their money and put it in the stock market, you can take your money and put it into an investment like a short-term rental or a fix and flip, be a private money lender, be a Gator lender, and you'll be able to make that money back. So to answer your question, absolutely. That's what you should be doing. You should be reaching out to people. You can do social media, you can do any of these, and you can say, hey, listen, here's the deal I have. It's in Point St. Lucie. Here's the numbers on it. Here's what we can take it down for. We can buy it creatively. Eddy Charger helped me get it creatively. And all I need is X amount of dollars, looking for a partner so we can make money off of this. I'm telling you, bro, you'll be bombarded. Being bombarded with individuals, and it's just that easy. So, question, hey, Eddy, do Gator's lenders lend for down payments too? Absolutely. Absolutely, they can lend for down payments. Typically, a Gator lender is going to play in, so you have private money lender and you have Gator lender, and then you have hard money lender. So just to make sure that everybody's clear. So a hard money lender is typically going to be a very high interest rate, and it's set up that way so that you can borrow their money short term and then give them their money back. You do not want to do a buy and hold with a Gator lender. You would lose your shirt, right? A private money lender is an individual who wants to be able to invest their money. It doesn't really matter what they want to invest it in. Depending on the relationship, you can get better interest rates, but they want to invest. A Gator lender is a person who typically is going to do short-term loans. So they're going to do maybe max 45 days. Sometimes you have 90 days where they're lending EMD, they're lending down payments, they're lending, that's their bread and butter. Now, a Gator lender also can do transactional funding, which means they're lending large amounts to cover double closing on a deal. So some of you guys are in markets that are like, hey, you can't wholesale, you got to buy the property. Well, you would get a Gator lender to do a transactional funding for you, which basically means they would buy the property for you, and within 24 hours, your buyer comes and buy the property from them. Technically, they're buying it from you. You're just using your lender's money, right?
Yeah. Now,
So
when you say partner, are you saying like you own the property 50-50 and split the profit 50-50?
So no, that's all negotiable. So you can do it that way. You also have it where like the lender, the Gator lender, or the private money lender is just lending you the money. They're protected by the real estate. So if something goes wrong, you can't be like, oh man, hey, we tried, right? Next time, right? They're still protected by the real estate, so they're covered there. But yeah, see, Heather knows. She's like, hell yeah, they do. But you also can discuss like, okay, well, how much do you want for lending me the money? It could be 1% for transactional funding. It could be 15% for short-term rentals. Honestly, it could be anything, bro. Right? It's whatever you guys agree upon.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. My guy Mir says, hey, y'all, is there anyone in Central Texas area that wants to connect? If you guys want to connect. So here's the thing, and I hope I'm not mispronouncing your name, Mir, but you got to put, like, how do we get in contact with you? Right? Either put some sort of social media contact on there, so when people see this, they see the comment, they'll be able to reach out to you. All right. So that's the three difference that you have. You have private money, who can typically lend on anything. It's a better option than hard money. Hard money is really, really good for fix and flips, but you got to be able to get in and out, right? And then you have Gator lending, which Gator lending typically is going to be more short term, but they have the option that they can be able to operate like a private money lender. Private money lender typically is not going to give you money for 30 days. They don't see the benefit of that. A Gator lender can, because Gator lender is like micro flipping. If I do a bunch of these small transactions, I make enough. So Gator lending can do that, and they can do private money lending, which is super awesome. So that's why we go with that, Samuel, right? So far we talked about micro flipping, we talked about Gator lending, and now the next thing I want to kind of move you on to is, what's your end goal, right? So I know you said, first house, I want to be able to get, be able to get a house and make at least $3,000 a month, which is great. Now we know, let's say we did that. It's been 30 days from now. We did that. We know that works. What is your next goal? How many times do we want to rinse and repeat this?
Well, one of the goals is I want to be able to set up an LLC that owns a few that are cash flowing for my parents.
Love it. Love it. I'm actually working on that too. That's why I talked about multifamily today. That's one of the things that I'm working on. We're buying a bunch of properties, single families. We're taking them down cash, but also doing a lot of creative. We're buying a lot in Ohio, Tennessee, Connecticut, and then some of my other markets. Which, if anybody needs this, just let me know. I'll send you the link. This is all the areas that we're buying. But also, we're doing a lot of affordable housing. And I'm setting up an LLC and a trust and everything that's just for my parents, right? Just here's your money for all them, sneakers I made you buy. I completely destroyed them for no reason, right? So I totally get there. So here's what I would tell you to do, and this is because I want you to think big picture. All right. So I love what you're doing. I want you to be able to like pull. I want to take your head and just stretch it out a little bit. I know for sure. I'll get you that link there. In fact, I don't know how I could do it. I'll if you guys are following me on IG, I'll post it on IG. That way you guys can be able to follow. But one of the things that they did, right? Oops, no, copy. One of the things that they did, one of my guys, and I posted here in the YouTube channel too. One of the guys that I know, they started doing this Airbnb model, but they're doing it in a hotel, or they're doing it in a multifamily.
Okay.
Right? So think about it. If you were going to have 10 single family homes all around Point St. Lucie, what's the difference between buying a 10 unit multifamily and turning all of them into let's see, let's think.com. Turn all of them into a
each unit into an Airbnb.
Short-term rental. Yeah. Why not? Why can't we? Who's gonna stop us, Samuel?
No
I
one.
dare them. I dare them to. Right. So let's see. Now this is LoopNet. If you guys aren't familiar with LoopNet, it's a great site. It's one of the sites you can use. There's plenty of sites out here that's available for you to be able to use. One of the things that I like and don't like is that the search criteria is kind of wonky on here. But we can try to see. So let's go to multifamily. Nothing came up for multifamily. Yeah, see, it's kind of wonky. But then when you just go through it, you'll see other stuff. I wonder if they have hotels available. Hotels. No, I didn't see it. But this is just an example of what I'm talking about, right? So you can go to a place, look it up, see what. So I'll give you guys another hint, right? Coming down the pipeline, you guys are going to start to see a lot of malls. So you see here, you see a lot of commercial properties. You're going to start to see a lot of malls. So look, see what I was talking about? Here's the multifamily right here, but they didn't show it. So here's 2 units. Sam, I'm about to give you some game right here, bro. So here's a 2-unit condo office that is going for stuff of $225 per unit. All right. You can take the same concept that I'm talking about, right? I like this one better. Let's see how many units is this one. All right.
Yeah, that seems like a residential.
Yeah. Let's do. I like this one better. Now this one's going on auction in 17 days. Starting bid $350. $350,000 gets you what? What does it get us? 8
apartment units.
Okay. Now you may be saying to yourself, Eddy, I love this, man, but I don't got 350,000.
Yeah.
But no one ever said that you had to have 350,000. You can find people who would love to be partners with you on this that can bring together the money that you need. And now all of you own this property for 350,000. And then you come in with that money and now you renovate all of them and you turn them all into multifamily, or you turn half into you turn half into Airbnb and half into like regular multifamily.
Okay.
Right? So now you're making money on both sides of the table. Okay. And then let's say you wait a year, 5 years, then you refinance it, and all your Gator lenders or people that had lended you on this deal, you're able to pay them out. And who still owns the property, Samuel?
I would, or in the partner.
You would. No, there's no one partner. You paid them off.
So you're saying just partner as in private money?
Partner as in private money,
Okay.
right? And then what happens is you come in, you fix it up, you guys all work together, you go, you guys are there, you're taking pictures, like, yo, come look at my spot, this is boat. And then now you get a refinance, you pay back your lenders are happy because you did exactly what you said you was gonna do. And now you get to keep this property. And Samuel, are you the only child?
No, I got 3 siblings.
I promise you would be considered the only child if you do this for your parents. Don't even worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Like this is it. When you come home, they got special meals cooked for you. Everybody else gotta go find something to eat, right? So
yeah,
that's what I mean. Now, am I telling you to go tackle this now? No. Could you go tackle this? Absolutely. It just depends on your risk tolerance right now, right? But what I would tell you, I think is probably better for just like your mindset, your thought process, and all this other stuff, is to be able to, let's go tackle the one property first. Have that under your belt. Feel comfortable about it. And now you can say, you know what? I'm gonna go look for multifamily. I'm gonna go, let's go look for that. Like why go do 10 other single families? Now maybe it takes you 3 months to find a multifamily. That's cool. What you can do in the meantime while you're finding it, slowly pick up another single family property. and do the
Now,
same
what about the
thing.
down payment on the 350? Well, the hypothetical 350.
Yeah. So when you're dealing with, so for me, if I was looking at this deal, like when I told you guys, I'm going to have 100 people walk multifamily unit in Atlanta, and we're going to buy it. What I would be doing is I've been trying to figure out first, can I take this over creatively? Can I make that down payment over time, or do you need the money right now? And if they like, no, we need the money right now, or whatever our agreement is, then my partners and I will put the money together. Everybody brings in what they can bring in until we make enough for that down payment.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it seems more feasible now, right? Like almost to the point where it's like, oh man, that sounds easy. But I promise you, it's not easy.
Yeah.
Right? If it was easy, everybody would do it. But here's the thing about us. When I mean us, I'm talking about entrepreneurs. Yes, it is true. We are the crazy ones. But it is also true that we don't really care if something is easy or not. We just need to know, is there a possibility that it's doable? If there's a possibility that it's doable, we will get it done. And that's all you really need to know.
Awesome.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Bet. Perfect. All right. So, how do you feel? Is there any questions that you may have, or like anything that you're like, well, I'm a little bit shaky on this or whatever, or do you kind of have like a good fitting now on what you need to be doing? Because we still have to talk about where you're going to find these deals, and that's the easy part. That's why I left it till the end.
First, I love the explanations you've been doing so far. Love you bringing up the big multifamilies, painting a big picture. But is there? So I don't really want to 100% be in the market. Like I don't want to have to be there 12 months out of the year for the next 6 years. I want to be able to, if I want to go up to Colorado for 3 months, I'm not tied to that market to be physically there. Is there a way that you can do this out of state without sacrificing any sort of income or results with it, like managing the properties and actually getting it property set up?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a great question. The answer to that question is absolutely yes. You can definitely do this from anywhere. You just need to hire the right individuals to be on your team so you can maybe take care of it. So this is going to quickly turn, Samuel, from a you thing to your team. Right? And your team is going to be who's going to be taking care of maybe your day-to-day while you're just more at a high level. Right? Which is what you want to be, because you, as intelligent as you sound, you're probably a horrible employee. Right?
Yeah.
You're probably much, much better as an entrepreneur because you're big picture. And so that's what you have to do. In the meantime, though, as an entrepreneur, most of us are hustlers. And so you'll do what you need to do until you can get to that point where it's like, okay, I built it all out. I built the standard of procedures, the SOPs and everything like that. Now it's time to hire somebody and hire the team under them that's going to take over my day-to-day. And for doing so, you're going to give them a percentage of the proceeds.
Yeah.
And that's okay, right? Because, I mean, how much is your time worth? If you have to pay somebody 20% to take over running everything, is that worth it to you?
Gotcha.
Right? Because you can take that 20% that you're paying them and now go, because you have more time, you can go find 2-3 more deals. And now you made up what you thought you would have lost. So absolutely, it's about building that. Just Daryl just said it, relationships, right? That's how you hire the best people. I mean, I have a team that currently, while I'm on this call with you guys, I have a team that is still building and doing things on our real estate side, on our investment side, right? And they're freaking amazing. I tell people all the time, like, I will put your team against my team any day of the week, right? But I only can do that because they know their worth and they get paid their worth based off of the work that they do. And I pour into them daily. But does that mean that, I'm constantly in my business? No, I'm not, right? I'm on other aspects of my business, but I'm not currently doing the same things that they're doing because they're capable and able and willing to be able to take it over. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, awesome. My guy, Yeah, that's what it is. Visionary Vicente Gray. All right, so I want to answer this question for Alex. I missed it. Do you think it's wise to use my rental portfolio's property equity to get another rental property? So I think the answer to that is yes. It's why it is wise, but it just depends on what rate you're going to get. Right now, we're seeing interest rates are continue to rise. You got to be able to figure out is that who you're going to get it from, and is that the best that you can do, and is that going to make money for you on the long end? What I mean by that, if I put in another rental property, is the amount that I'm going to get back from the other rental property going to be enough to cover this new loan and make me still happy that I did the deal? All right, so I hope that makes sense. All right, my guy Samuel, any other questions before I give you like where to find these type of deals?
All right, so kind of back on the same question. Right now, I'm local to Virginia, but I'm still doing business in Florida, virtually wholesaling.
Mm-hmm.
Would you recommend I try and get properties in my local market or in Florida and just manage them virtually?
I would recommend you do the research. Let's go back to here. AirDNA.com, Rubu.com. Find out if that area in Virginia that you're talking about is going to bring you the amount of cash flow that you want. That's what matters.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because right in Virginia, the one I'm in is pretty small market. That's why I branched out into Florida originally for wholesaling.
Okay, well, there you go. That you got your answer.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because yes, I understand what you're saying about like, yeah, but I'll be local. And if that's really, really important to you, then do that. Go local. Just change your goal for how much you want to be able to make per month, because the market is smaller, right?
Gotcha.
But always lead with the data. The data is what you want to be able to deal with, because that's ultimately that's the one depiction of what's actually gonna make sense and how much money you make.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? I know you're like, yeah, man, tell me where I get these deals from.
I'll let you know if any questions pop up in my mind as you go.
All right. Well, check this out. This is gonna be the last thing right here, because and I'm cutting this one a little bit early only because today we have the event at 7 p.m.
No problem.
That we're gonna be doing, and so got cut short for that, and that one's gonna be a really good one. We're gonna be doing deal. It's called Deal or No Deal. So we're going over people's deals they're bringing in. I have 5 cash buyers that are gonna sit on there. It's gonna be like Shark Tank. So I got like 5 cash buyers. They're gonna sit. They're gonna first explain how they comp their deals, why they go after areas that they go after, etc. And then people bring their deals. We'll tell them if it's a deal or not, and if it's a deal, people will buy it right then and there on the spot.
Wow.
10K or more assignment fees on the spot, and then we just continue to comp properties, and it's going to be a great spot, a great place to be able to network. And it's going to be at an axe throwing place, so we'll be throwing axes, hopefully not at each other, but what I mean, we'll make it work for the deals. So that's what we got going on tonight. So that's the only reason I'm cutting it short. But what I would love to do, Samuel, is I would love to see how much work you put into this, and do a follow-up with you, have you come on and be like, look, here's what I got so far, right? And of course, we can talk offline during the week and everything like that. You have direct access to me, so you can always hit me up, and I'll guide you through, whatever you may be stuck on. I love for you to be able to go out and be like, yo, I ran into a problem, now what? Because that's how you succeed, right? Don't get stuck like, oh, I need to learn what I need to do here. No. Go be like, yo, I messed up. What do I do? How do I do this? And that way I can be able to help you faster to your goal, right? So how do we find these deals? The best way I'm going to tell you to find these deals, because I don't want you spending a bunch of money on leads, right?
Yeah.
The best way to find these deals is join Facebook groups. So one of the Facebook groups I would recommend is, first, just go to Facebook, look up Point St. Lucie wholesaling.
Okay.
Right. Look up Florida. I would probably try to stay to Port St. Lucie because you might, if you go Florida is so big, you probably get a whole bunch of stuff. But I would look up groups dealing, Port St. Lucie wholesaling, Port St. Lucie real estate, Port St. Lucie investing, Port St. Lucie investors. Now check this out: Port St. Lucie contractors, Port St. Lucie funeral homes. Like those are the searches I'm looking for, not just real estate, but anything pertaining to Port St. Lucie that some way, somehow, a house may come in the possession of somebody. Probate, tax delinquent, any of those.
Yeah.
The other thing I would do is I would go into books like Creative Financing with Pace Morby. I would go into groups like that. I would go into even other bigger groups like Wholesaling Inc. I would go into TTP. I would go into my Facebook group that I have, Atlanta Elite. Even though it's Atlanta, you have people that are doing business in those markets. You just have to make sure it's a big enough group, and then you will come on and just be like, "Hey, I'm Samuel. I'm looking for potential Airbnb properties in this area. Here's my contact information. If you have something, willing to pay you your assignment for it." I would also look up Point St. Lucie Airbnbs, Point St. Lucie short-term rentals.
Okay.
Right. And anybody else who's listening right now, switch the city name, put the city you want, and use the same things. Right. And so again, you put out something, make sure you have an email, keep a separate email so you can come to an email where this is just potential deals. Even on some of those Airbnb groups, they'll have people that are actually selling the Airbnb fully furnished. And you may be even able to purchase them creatively as well. That's where you can go get all those leads free of charge. Free 99, my guy.
Okay.
All right. Now, another place I would tell you to be able to go is the MLS. I don't know if you have access to the MLS.
I do wholesale deals, agent outreach.
Oh, so listen. So I would go to the MLS. I would definitely do. So I got a question here. Is that how I find off-market properties? And yes, you can go to any group on Facebook right now and dealing with real estate, and you probably will find myself on there with my ad showing my buy box and my email. So yes, that's exactly how I do it as well. You just have to be consistent because people will forget, right? They'll get a deal, they forgot that I posted something yesterday. So you gotta be consistent and you gotta build the relationship. Now, if you have MLS access, what I recommend that you do is you go in and you look at properties that have been listed for 100 years or 100 days or longer.
Yeah.
Right. And I would also look at properties that has been rented or renting and looking for a new renter for, 30, 45 days or longer.
Okay.
And I would call and I would say, "Hey, listen, I'm looking for a property. Are you interested in selling? Are you interested in terms? Or, what do you think if we partnered and then we arbitrage? So you still own the property. Instead of it sitting vacant, I'll pay you, market rent every month. I'm going to be using it for my corporate rental business. And I'll cover, all the expenses under $500. Anything dealing with the house itself, like major mechanical things of that nature, you would cover that through your insurance. And I'll have it, spick and span. It gets cleaned every week. This is only corporate individuals, so it's not going to be party at your house. And let's come to an agreement. That's called arbitrage, and you can do that as well. Okay. Those are all the places I would go. And I promise you, if you do all those strategies that I gave you for 2 weeks straight, every single day, you would have more than enough leads and you'd be hitting me back like, "Bro, let's underwrite these. How do I do this? What's next?"
Awesome.
All right. Good to go?
Yeah. And for the old rental listings, do you think you'd approach it to buy the house first, try and get it on terms, see if they're a tired landlord they want to sell the property, and then arbitrage?
Yep, I do it in just that order that I gave it.
Okay.
And why do I do that? It's because I mean, which one do you win the most? I don't know. It kind of depends. Like if you really had your heart set on buying it, then maybe that doesn't work for you. But I like to be able to pitch cash, and they're like, no, look at okay. Well, what about creative? No. What about arbitrage? One of those guys has to work.
Yeah.
Right. Especially if it's a rental that's sitting, because I mean you're not making no money. Right. I'm projecting options that allows you to make more money, and that's how I would pitch it.
Got it.
All right. You good? I gotta make sure you're good before I do anything else, because I don't want you to be like, man, that was good, but he didn't answer that one question that I had.
I mean, you gave me it. Facebook groups, funeral homes, contractors, wholesaler investment groups on Facebook, all the big ones, old MLS listings, and rental listings.
There you go. Now, here's the kicker. And this is how we're gonna end it. It's gonna revert back to the first video you guys saw when I opened this up today. It's about being consistent. This is not going to be sexy. It's not going to be fun necessarily. It's going to be extremely mundane, but that's what yields the results. So if you stay focused to that, Samuel, I promise you in the next 30, 60 days, you will have a life-changing event happen that will cause you to never look back and keep your foot on the pedal. Guaranteed. All right.
Got it.
All right, good. So everybody else, thank you for joining, tuning in. Hope you enjoyed your time. Hope Samuel got charged up and he's excited, ready to push forward. We're all charged up. Hope you guys are able to enjoy that and got information that you can use. This isn't one of those podcasts where I'm gonna hype you up so you feel good about yourself. I like that, but I also think that's stupid. If you're broke, you don't want to feel good. You want to get to the bag so you too can be able to provide for your family, your loved ones, and start to go after those dreams and goals that you have. So with that being said, everybody, I wish you the best. I'll tune in next week. I'll see you guys then, every Thursday at 3 p.m. Stay charged up.
Thanks so much, Eddy.
No problem, man. Peace.